My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, and I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today, we are doing something that I don't think we've ever really done specifically before this time of year.
I think we did last year, didn't we?
Did we?
So it's like roughly like what we did last year, but a little bit
different.
Potentially, we don't know. Maybe we'll say the same exact things.
Who knows? We don't know, man. Like, listen.
Hey, a year ago was a whole lifetime ago.
That's
man.
true. Like, it's been a billion years.
We are old. We don't remember those things.
I don't remember what I ate for dinner yesterday. Actually, that's a lie. I do remember what I ate for dinner yesterday. It was delicious. But today we are going to do a mid-year check-in. What we've been into, what we like, what things that we've really enjoyed so far in this, the 21st of the 20s. That made sense. Thank you. It made sense in my mind. 2021.
Like, no comments. It made sense.
Listen,
I don't get to say anything.
I will be taking no
critiques.
criticisms. Thank you. It made sense when it was coming out of my mouth. That's so what basically we're just gonna talk about, what we've liked in the first half of the year, man. Like what's been happening for us. So we're gonna talk about like what we liked in like dramas or movies and what we liked in music so far, what fun stuff we've been up to podcast wise that we've enjoyed. Just a little like what's been good? What's good, ladies? What's good, So, who wants to take this away? From me, preferably.
Okay, well, I mean, like, do we want to start, like, specifically on, like, top dramas? Or,
yeah, let's do like, dramas, movies.
Watching.
Yeah, let's do watching, then we'll do music, then we'll do podcasts, then we'll do, a little check-in with us as people, with our outside interests. We have a good time here. We have
things.
We have things in our lives. We have things in our lives we enjoy.
Sorta.
Kind of.
Sometimes. So yeah, let's start with like, what we've been really enjoying, like movies, or not movies, but, visual media-wise.
Watching-wise. Well, do we want to start? Yeah, let's go with Sky since she kind of got shafted on our music episode.
She did. She did a little.
So I'm going to preface by saying I'm not including a specific drama because I was going to finish it the past couple days and I didn't get to. So I'm sad.
You can.
You can. We don't judge.
You know what? I'm including a drama that only has like 4 episodes out. So
I am also including a drama that I haven't finished, but I know. So
okay, then
go for it.
Go to town.
It's sometimes against my religion to do that, but I will do it this time.
Well,
listen, there's no religion here.
No,
this is a godless place.
Not like you went into this being like, I'm gonna pretend like I've watched it and really haven't. Then it's
so
you were very honest.
Yeah.
From the get go.
Okay, I have 5 episodes left. I think. Okay. Taxi Driver is one that I want to include as a favorite. Yay! But, like, I am prefacing, I'm not done with it. But, like, in the grand scope of really anything they could, well, not anything, but I think it will still remain on my list.
As long as it
have to work really hard.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, if it doesn't completely change into a different show altogether, which sometimes that happens.
It is a real, like, threat.
So, out of ones that I have finished, I adored Sell Your Haunted House.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Jessie looks worried about her list.
I know. Yep. But you know what? We're not. It's favorites. We can.
We can have crossovers. Yep.
Yeah. It could be the same 5 all across the board. It probably won't be, but it could be.
Sell Your Haunted House. It's great. If you can't handle jump scares, maybe don't watch it. But it's really good. Like, I really liked it. It's a very, for a fantasy type scenario, it's still a very human show, which I really liked.
Yeah.
And it kind of covers grief. And I feel like, that's a theme in a lot of these shows recently. So it's one of the ones that kind of talks about how to deal with grief, which is a thing. I think I boohooed on the last episode. Yeah, I boohooed. True Beauty. It was going to be on my list. Everyone knew that was going to be on my list. True Beauty's on my list. It's really fun. They did a really good job. sticking with the webtoon. It was a good time. Everyone did a good job. I missed it whenever it was done. I remember that.
Listen, I still can't believe how old the dude who played the second male lead is. He, like, blows my mind. It makes no sense.
Older, or is he like super young?
Is he 26 or something?
No, he's like almost 30.
28, 26,
he
28.
He looks about 18.
Yep.
Drop your skincare regimen.
Yeah, the real one, not your
not the fake one that your company says. I want the real stuff. What are you injecting in there?
Then we got a C drama because I talked about it endlessly when I was watching it. You Are My Hero. I really, really liked that show a lot. It was really sweet and it was a good time. I think I have a soft spot for some medical dramas, but I haven't watched a ton, so I can't. Between that and Hospital Playlists, I sure liked those medical dramas. So those were my main. I do want to add in Space Sweepers. I really did enjoy Space Sweepers a lot. Mm-hmm. I will say I haven't ruminated much on Space Sweepers after I watched it. It did not necessarily stick around in my head for too long, but I enjoyed it when I was watching it.
I don't think it was the type of movie that was too, like, I think it was just supposed to be fun, and then you could move on with your life. So.
Yeah. But I mean, it was kind of like, found family, it had a little bit of that to it, so. Mm-hmm. And then I want to just mention in there, things that I definitely spent a lot of time watching still was Master in the House. Like, I watched a lot of that. Really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. That will be changing soon.
I saw the news.
2 of the people are leaving, and including the main one that I'm watching the show for. So
that's fair.
Though it was inevitable that it was going to, like, I knew it was probably going to happen at some point. Given how busy he is, I was curious how he did it as long as he did. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Shin Sung-rok, because he's so busy in musicals and theater that he was gone one episode because of that. Like, he's busy. They're both very busy. Yeah. So, whereas, how am I spacing? The main guy. Yeah. He's busy, but it's his show. Like, he came up with it. So, it's not like he's going to bail on his show. That's the only thing that keeps him there, really. It's a really good show. Really enjoyable. So, yeah. Master in the House, and then sometimes Immortal Songs whenever I had a notion to pick it up if someone I knew was in it and stuff. Really, really good stuff. I know I always recommend it, but, like, really, it's a good time. And because it covers so many different things. It's neat. But Master in the House, like, some of them are very funny, but other times it can be a very touching episode or a very educational episode and stuff. Like, one was about one of the historical, not a castle, but a historical palace. Like, the master, quote unquote, was the palace. Like,
that's cool.
They made it into a character and actually had a young boy actor kind of. Yeah, it was really neat, and they dressed up in costumes for that, but, like, learned a lot, and they even learned things about Korean history that they didn't know, so it was pretty neat. So it's a really good variety show. There's a lot of variety in it. So those are my visual picks.
Very cool. Very cool. So, for me, Move to Heaven, the first show that has ever made me cry, which is very impressive. Okay, that is I do not cry during TV shows, so and it's also just fantastic. Another Netflix one, Vincenzo, just sucked me in, and I am obsessed with this show now. Like, it is so good. And it's one of those that, like, it takes a few episodes to, like, get into it. Because, like, at first there was the whole, like, okay, am I going to really believe that this guy is, like, a feared, like, mobster? Like, come on. You're like, look at his little baby face. No. No. Like, everyone is on point in this show. Even the people who are, like, comedic relief, like, they're all hitting their notes, and it's excellent. There's even a pigeon as a character who's hitting its notes. Like, this trained pigeon is solid. Like, everything about it is great. Good show, good show, good show. Tachyon as a villain is living his best life. It's excellent. Next on my list, we got Tale of 1,000 Stars, which was so good, y'all. So good. Like, It was way better than a GMM TV show has any damn right to be. Let's just say that. Really good, well acted. Like, even the ridiculously obvious PPL weren't so bad. When they weren't so bad like they usually are. Like, they were, you know that they're happening, but like, you're not just like, this makes no, like, why are you doing this? Like, because in a lot of the shows, it'll be like, okay, like
it'll like Sell Your Haunted House PPL.
It's a bit.
It was so random. Like, and I don't even remember seeing much in Sell Your Haunted House until like the final like episode. All of a sudden, it was everywhere, and I was like, "What are you guys doing?" Like,
they gotta make up the budget.
The last
they gotta make up the budget.
It was a lot, and it was like
I just.
We were supposed to do that. Now we gotta put it in now.
Well, especially when it's like two dudes like exchanging underwear and talking about it a couple different times. It's like, this is not exactly natural, but okay.
Like
an 8. It was like, oh, these are the best snacks ever, and you're like, come on, kids.
It always sort of reminds me of the TV show Chuck, which got saved. Like, it had gotten canceled, but then Subway paid to like produce another season, so they had all these Subway PPLs, but they were always just like over the top, where it'd be like one of the guys like unwrapping a sub, and he'd be like about to take a bite, and then someone would interrupt him. He'd be like, you are not interrupting me before I eat this 6-inch chicken teriyaki." Just so lovingly with all fresh ingredients right in front of my face. And I just remember seeing that and being like, I'm not even mad about this, because like,
especially the logistics of that. But at Sell Your Haunted House with the underwear, I just kept laughing, and I was like, yes, this is a completely natural conversation, exchanging underwear again.
Yeah.
Like, totally fine.
GMMTV has like a deal with like certain brands, and one is Oishi iced tea. And let me tell you, the amount of ways they can slide Oishi into your DMs, they're gonna do it. It'll be like, oh, like, I brought you this, like off, you know, and you're just like, okay, like
thanks.
Chill. But regardless, the PPL wasn't super offensive in Tale of a Thousand Stars, which makes sense because they were in the middle of nowhere. Like,
yeah,
you can only do so much PPL, you know? The next one I have is a little short one, To My Star. It made me feel things. Very good. It's in movie form on Viki, which, to be honest, is better than the cut-up version.
Yes.
Like, just watch the movie version. It works better as a movie than it does as a web drama.
The sad thing about web dramas is when they have to like recap, which then takes up like 3 of the 10 minutes or so of the episode.
Yeah.
So like the movie version is
the way to
all
go.
Of
really
those,
good.
all of those Viki ones those Viki boy loves that come out in the last year, they all make better movies. Like, watching the movie cut is always
like,
better.
It's one of those ones that, like, sure, it's under, like, the boys love tag, and this is the same with Tale of a Thousand Stars, but it's really a boys love drama.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that you're like, why are we, like, putting a label on something that's, like, a very normal thing? Like, you're not saying that, like, this is straight love, like...
it's
for a rom-com.
It's like, so To My Star is just a very sweet romance film that just so happens to have a gay couple as the main couple, which is sort of the same about Tale of a Thousand Stars, because them being in love isn't even like the main plot of the show. Like, it's sure that's a thing that happens, but that's incidental to everything else going on, you know. And finally, my number 5, which took me for a roller coaster ride because of things that were happening off screen, was River Where the Moon Rises.
Oh.
So good! It's really good. Like, the acting is fantastic and everything. And, man, Nan-Woo he swooped in there to save the day on that show.
Have they re-released the ones that
I
they were
believe
going
that they
to...
have, because they refilmed, like, the first 5 episodes or whatever. But it was just the scenes that he would have been in, right?
Right.
So like the first episode, he was only in like one scene, so you don't only have to refilm that one. You wouldn't be refilming when they're the younger cast of themselves. Like, that would make no sense. Because
I was considering picking it up when that was all done. Like,
I think that's been done.
I think they had them up before the show was even airing.
Yeah, I think they did too.
I feel like I read an article about it just because it was in relation to they didn't realize how successful it was going to be even in international spaces, and that's why they kind of sped up things potentially.
Now I'm just I'm going to episode 2. Oh yeah, he's in the thumbnail for episode 2.
Well, there you go. Add it to your list.
Yeah, no, it's him. He's there. Yeah, so I don't think anyone was expecting him to be as good as he was. Because usually in these sorts of situations where an actor gets replaced, which I don't think rarely happens in the middle of a show, to play the same character where he doesn't look anything like the original character and was not prepared to be in this. Literally was just yeah, I'm free. Sure, I'll come
save your show.
Because I think they had almost filmed the entire show. And I think what I like about it is you can tell that everyone on the show really cared about the show. Because if they didn't, they would have just canceled it after everything that happened, right? But no, and I would say, after they replaced him, it got even more popular than it was before, which never happens. So this was, really fascinating. Anyway, it's really good, and I do recommend it. It's, obviously, since I put it on my top 5 list.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So, I have some duplicates. That's okay. It's just...
That is okay.
So first, Sell Your Haunted House. It's a very special drama to me. It was just everything I wanted and more. I think the cast was solid. The character progression was very solid, and their interactions together were really solid. I felt the characters that would normally be too over the top and played up, they didn't do that. They kind of restrained them in the believable ways. And I think that was really great. And I think that's also tied to kind of how if someone was supposed to be over the top and humorous, that was it. That was them who was that. They didn't make the whole scene and tone of that section do that, which I really respected. And it really, especially in a show like that where it is about grief and stuff, that would have just been very detrimental to some of those scenes. I think it would have just been off, and it didn't happen, and it was great, and I loved everything about it. It was the best watch. I just really just made me happy watching it.
And Jung Na-ra, she
was so incredible in this.
It's so different than who she is as a normal person. So different.
I haven't watched her in a lot of stuff because admittedly she does a lot of stuff that I don't really watch, but I have seen her in rom-coms. I watched that one where she used to be in the K-pop group. Dara was also part of that group too, from 21, and then she moves into an apartment across the way from a single father. That one.
I love that one. Yeah.
That sounds fun. I want to watch it.
I think you would probably like it, but so I've seen her in rom-com roles that were a little bit more comedic and stuff, and what I've seen her in other things that we watched a couple of episodes of, but she's completely different in this than what I've seen, and she really took the role really well, and I think she was very centered in it. Her role definitely out of everybody I think could have gotten into weird areas, and she was able to keep that tone and be true to herself. She never that's one of the things I like even with all the things that happened, or if a progression with a relationship between some of the characters happened, it never felt like she magically became a different person. It was just her kind of stoic person, but how that she would react in those situations. And I really like that I think character wise it's that's what I really enjoyed from that show.
Did you see behind the scenes how much fun they had with stuff?
I haven't watched the little I know there's a special.
So
I haven't watched it yet.
A big half of the special is of course them just reiterating the show again. But the second half, they show some of the behind the scenes stuff and just how much fun they all had with it. And pretty much
I love that.
They endlessly, the two leads just teased each other all the time, and they just had a really good time. And then it kind of talks about all the cameos after that, so It even talks about the relationship between the everyone's favorite Ajima character and her cameo with the person that makes the amulets and stuff. They're actually really good friends in real life, and so whenever she accepted the role, she called Jongnara up and's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be such and such role," and she's like, "Oh, that's," like they were really happy that they were, even though they're different generations, they're actually really close friends and stuff. So they all had like a blast behind the scenes, and when I see that, that always makes my heart happy.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's nice seeing people enjoy their work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Second one, Taxi Driver. I had fun with that show. It was fun. I enjoyed a lot of it, and I respected the stories that they decided to pull and the way that they did it, because it really was, the show itself was trying to show the injustices of all of this stuff, not just like Lee Jae-hoon's character like doing it. It was like the show would literally be like, this is why it's bad, this is what we have right now as our system, and we need to fix it. And I really respected that, and that like was tied to true stories and stuff. So I generally liked it. The drama that I literally just finished today, and I can't get over it. It is so good, and bawling my eyes out the last 4 episodes. Youth of May. It was incredible.
That's on my list.
It's
Matthew wants to watch it with my husband.
Yeah,
I was telling him what it was about, and he was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, just the way that they did it, I thought was really good. Like, obviously, I can't really say anything because it's like not my country, not my culture or anything, but I do feel like there was a lot of respect in the storyline, because the storyline is not only about this like romance between the 2 leads, is also about the Gwangju uprising, which is, if you don't know, it's a really horrific event in Korea's history. They were still under military dictatorship, and the protests became a thing to the point where the militia came in and started gunning down and beating college students essentially at random. If you weren't in the right spot, you were going to be targeted. And so it's a really hard thing, and I think, like, especially because it was in the 80s, so there were people who grew up with this and like had it affected in their lives. And I feel like the show did a really good job with keeping up with also this kind of like other fictionalized story about the love between the 2 characters, and they were great together. The last episode, I was crying. I had watched the first episode when it aired, and I was like, I need to stop. I want to watch this all at once, and it's not done. So I waited and then watched some more, and then it was like one of those shows like I wanted to keep watching, but I also didn't want it to stop, like the experience to end. The story, yes, where it stopped, it needed to stop. I don't want it to be multi-seasons, that sort of thing, but just I was forcing myself to have it longer, and it's just it is painful and devastating. Obviously, like, they're not sugarcoating what happened during that time, but I just loved it. It was great. So if that's something you can handle, I definitely think you should watch it. And then my other 2 choices are kind of like, I don't have a lot of like backlog of dramas to pick from, and a lot of the dramas are kind of meh this year. So another drama that I'm picking, I have not watched the end of it, but like there's no way it's not going to be like one of the best shows that I've watched. It's Beyond Evil. I've loved every episode that I've watched of it. It just kind of got sidelined for a while. I will pick it back up, but it's a really solid crime thriller, and the mystery is good, and the way that like the characters interact just gets you, it sucks you in. So it's definitely one of the best crime dramas.
I haven't heard anything bad about it. Like, everybody
so that's why
says
I'm like,
it's amazing.
It's not gonna like crush. And it also just got picked up by Netflix, so now it's on Netflix.
Ooh.
Nice.
So it's accessible now. And then finally is Voice season 1. While I had some like issues with some of the like stuff, on a whole, the show was pretty solid as a drama, specifically the first season. We're getting through the other seasons, but like the first season, I think it was a good solid crime drama, and especially if you love that kind of drama, like if you like shows like Bones or CSI, you'll love Voice. Those are my dramas. Not a lot like to pick from, but I've been gaining speed on my drama watching, so check with me at the end of the year. I'll have a lot.
Yeah.
And we will.
So we will.
So for me, I have a few that kind of cross over to, I loved Space Sweepers. I just thought it was fun. rewatchable for me. It just, it was just a good time. Tale of 1,000 Stars, again. It was just good. We waited 1,000 years for it to come out, and it was worth it. So thank you, GMMTV. That was
GMMTV they were really pushing the meaning of soon. Okay, they were pushing it. We were always be like, coming soon, Tale of 1,000 Stars. Then 5 years later, we were like, please,
soon.
Yeah, Navalera. It's Navalera, right? Not Nava. I can't. Navarella. I don't. My brain keeps mixing the L's and the R's up in there, and I'm like, I will be looking right at it and be like, is that right?
The butterfly-like show.
Yeah,
whatever.
The ballet show on Netflix.
Yes, it's very good. It was
the
very,
other
very
show
enjoyable.
with these Sweet Home Kids.
Yeah.
The other show.
The other crying show with the Sweet Home Kids.
And it was just good. It was nice. It had good character development. It had good story. It was only 10 or 12 episodes, so it didn't drag or do anything silly that it didn't need to do. It just told its story and told it well, and it was just very complete and well done. And
you cried a little bit.
I cried a little bit.
Is that our theme? What we picked was that they made us cry.
Cry shows.
If you make us cry, you're guaranteed a slot.
Listen, for me, that's really. I do not cry, so it was very concerning that literally.
I was water on my face.
My face is leaking.
I was literally crying so hard that Matthew thought I was having a mental breakdown. He thought I was having some sort of
moment,
panic attack or something. That because he just woke up and I was just lying in bed looking at my phone sobbing. He was like.
Another one that I want to mention, even though it's not a this year drama, but I finished it this year because the site that was subbing stopped halfway and then picked it back up and finished subbing it later. So, and I'm sorry if I butcher this because it's Japanese, but it's Fujoshi Ukari Geini Kokuru. And it's a short one, 8 episodes, about a young man who's gay, who's not out at his high school yet. And just the struggle that he goes through. And he meets a girl who is a Fujoshi. She's really into boys love mangas. And she bumps into him when he's buying some boys love mangas. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you like this too? And he's like, oh, crap. Right. And then he's like, yeah. And he has one friend in his whole life. And he's sort of like, I could use another friend. And this is a friend I can talk to about this stuff because he doesn't talk with his other, his guy friend about this stuff, because you don't want to, because he's gay, he really wants to be not gay because he's not out of the closet kind of thing. And it's just a really, again, tears. There was a lot of tears because there's a lot that goes through. It's a very realistic. It's not a boys' love story at all because it's not about his romances or anything. Mm-hmm. In fact, he and the girl start dating and she doesn't know he's gay, but he's like, maybe I can try. If at one point in the drama, he says, if it was ever going to be anybody, it would be her. I'm going to give it my best shot kind of thing. Because his mom is going on about wanting grandkids and he wants to just be, quotation marks, normal and just be able to, his boyfriend is an old married guy who has boyfriends on the side because that's, the best way he could figure out to live his life. And he's like, I want to be that. I don't want to do that. So it was a real struggle. It was it was really beautiful and really sweet and had good things, but it also had hard things because it dealt with real issues that, people deal with. So, but it was really, really good. Another one that I really loved was How to Be 30. I know a lot of people were mad about it. I don't care. I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the way it ended. I enjoyed. Okay. There were way too many flashbacks. They did way too much with them flashbacks. It was too much. But when you've got 20-minute episodes, 10 minutes doesn't have to be flashbacks of the previous 10 minutes, okay? Like, I'm just saying.
Especially if you're binging it. It makes sense.
So, thankfully, that was only a couple of episodes in sort of like the third quarter that did that. It wasn't every episode every time, or else I wouldn't have made it through. But the story is good. The friendship between the girls was really solid and really fun to watch. So I really enjoyed that. And I am not anywhere near finished it. I think there's only 6 episodes out right now, and I've watched 5 of them. But I love Racket Boys, and I am trusting, fingers crossed, that it's going to keep going well. I trust this writer, even though they've only written like one other thing, but it was Prison Playbook, and I love that. So I'm going to trust that it's going to turn out all right.
All right. So that was like our visual media that we were into. Anything else we want to discuss before we move on to music?
I don't know. Was there anything?
I don't think there was anything exciting.
No.
Exciting news?
I tried to go back through my entire Twitter timeline, but Twitter didn't want to let me.
Yeah. And it's like, the news changes so rapido that, like...
Yeah.
Well, and you kind of covered one, the River Where the Moon Rises, like that whole thing, and that ended up that ended up well for all of the crew and cast. Well, relatively well. The whole working for not getting more money wasn't great.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of like those type of things happening. Like, we had Josie and Exorcist that like got canceled.
Which did not end well for the cast.
Oh my gosh. Although
and
that
other
one I had it rated highly. So
that was
want to rate the 2 episodes. I rated them highly.
That was a crime. What happened to that show?
Like what else? Like, I guess Taxi Driver, had a difference in the 2 things on Taxi Driver. Essentially, the writer change, and then also the girl from April was in the cast originally.
Oh yeah,
and they changed her. I don't know if they had to reshoot though. If it was too
I think it was before they started shooting. Like, it was right when they were about to start, I think.
On Road to Hagdom, Natalia and I have been doing a chat about imitation, and we were talking about some of the roughness of the drama and the fact that it was kind of a last-minute replacement for that other one that was supposed to air, that the lead actress was caught up in
there's
bullying.
another school drama.
Yeah,
right?
like Dear M or something, I think it was called.
Yeah.
So we were wondering if maybe that is affecting some of the, they rushed it out. So that's why it's
really possible.
Well,
and then the Island recasting, even though Island hasn't started filming yet. So, I mean, that's good and works in the favor of the show. But that's a thing.
And there are we haven't heard a lot of it recently, thankfully, but there are still dramas that had been stopped because of COVID in the cast or crew or potential, and so that's been still another thing this year that you've kind of had to deal with. I mean, like Move to Heaven probably was a COVID thing as well, because Move to Heaven,
it was filmed earlier.
The press release was sometime last year.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it was a post-production problem or anything like that.
No.
It was a Netflix press release, so it wasn't even a royalty or a rights thing. But yeah, it's been kind of like a little bit of a rougher year, and I don't know if it's just the depression of this being, another year of what's going on in the world, or just really it is
to express their frustrations and often
or it's just like
ways.
We're just not getting enough of stuff that we personally like or something like that. I don't know.
Who knows? Well, now we're going to talk about music check-in. Music check-in, everyone. Music check-in. Sky, We go first again, baby girl. Music check-in. What were your tops? What's your tops? I suspect I know one of them.
Oh, really? Really? Well, I'm curious. I'm curious what you're gonna say it is. Tell me.
I think there's 2 people on her list. I'm thinking of 2 people specifically. Oh no, now I'm thinking of 3. So we got. Do you want me to guess?
Go for it. Go for it. You'll probably get them all.
And flying Astro and Pentagon.
There you go. There you go.
Know you. Got you.
So Astro had to come back with their album All Yours. And their title song was One. Their secondary promotional song was All Good, which it was really cute and fun too. And they got multiple music show wins for the first time. Yay! So yeah, Astro's All Yours album. Loved it. Love it. Then Pentagon. This has been the season that Pentagon said, you will be a universe. That is what you're doing.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, now.
Are you not sorry?
Because I completely wore out their song Do or Not. I do not know how many times I have played that song. And their little mini album Love or Take it was a fun one. The way the songs interacted with each other, it flowed really well. It was a fun mini album. Super recently in Flying's album and their title song Moonshot. It's all really, really good, of course. Yay. But I also want to mention Dreamcatcher, because their mini album was really good. And Odd Eye, the way they would perform it and stuff, is great. So
yeah, their performances on Odd Eye was really good.
Yeah,
really
and then
good.
I even loved it down to the fact that they would all wear Odd Eye contacts. Like, I thought that was really cool. Like, I'm a sucker for stuff like that.
You gotta go with the concept.
Go all the way. Yep.
Don't half-ass this. Like,
I'm very predictable. It's like if my faves, because my faves are my faves for a reason.
Yeah,
fine.
Okay, so for me, I have like 5 songs that I really loved, and then like 3 albums that I've really loved the entirety of.
Okay. All right.
Go for it.
So,
Go for it.
Number 1 on my list, Idea by Taemin. What a banger of a song. Fantastic. The piano, the bizarre, like, syncope, everything about it was incredible. The visuals of the music video. Yes, I actually watched a music video. Look at me go. Fantastic. Fantastic. Just chef's kiss. Poor little egg boy looks like he's not doing so well in the military from the photo. He looks so skinny. He looks so skinny and sad compared to everyone else. Fine, like, I'm sure they'll, like, send him to do a musical.
He's probably getting more sleep than he has in years.
That's true.
Yeah, his body's like, I don't know what's going on.
Number 2, Drunk Dazed by ENHYPEN. EpiPen. That song slapped, okay? Like, that song slapped. What a good... Ooh. Speaking of other songs that slapped, Different Type of X by Jessie. Ooh. Hell yes. Like, yes. Yes.
There was a fun little moment on Immortal Songs, the Psy episode. Jessie and ATEEZ were both on there, and so San and Jessie both danced to that together, because he had kind of covered it a little bit before, and she had seen it. So together they did the main point dance of that.
That's
and
cute.
Yeah, everyone was impressed. It was really cool.
Nice.
Paranoia by Kang Daniel. Banger of a song again. It is on my play often list. It is a good one. And Spider by Hoshi is a weird little song, and I like it.
The other day it popped up on my playlist again, and I was like, who is this? Because it's been a while since I had listened to it. And I was like, who? Like, this song is, like, I knew I had heard it before, but I could not place who it was. I was like, oh, this is the Hoshi song. I totally forgot.
Because it's like, it doesn't sound like, it's such a cool song. Like, it's got a vibe to it. It passes the vibe check. And then in terms of albums, there is a bit of an overlap, because Astro's All Yours album made it onto my list because it's sick. Then we have the Carnival album from ENHYPEN, which was fantastic. And of course, my boys. You thought I wasn't going to mention my fellas, my sweet babies, my little beans, my children. EXO's special album, Don't Fight Feeling, was great. It was good, guys. It was really good, y'all. And, you know, it's on the play often list as well. What about you, Jesse?
I'll actually do kind of the same, where I'll like list some songs and then some albums. I've been all over the place on this, and I will say that like while I really like some of my favorites offerings, they actually didn't make it into this top. I know, it's shocking.
Happens
Who knows
sometimes.
though?
It
Like
does. It happens.
we won't know the definitive until the end of the year, and I'm
This is
sure
true.
I'm missing stuff. First, Lanologue, which is like a K band. They're kind of, I don't know. They're kind of in that like little like indie, but like also getting a little bit more mainstreamy kind. Like you can definitely find their K-pop profile on K-pop profiles, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I was introduced to them by the song White Light that they do with Nodi Shika. Cika. It's incredible. And it's a song that I just keep playing all the time. And it's kind of different than the rest of their like discography, so like I wouldn't like go to that one as like your basis on what they are, but it's just one of those songs I just keep on replaying, and I'm like, yep, I kind of know this song now by heart, so I guess I like it. You know, Amer, I love everything that she does, but Wonderland is such an incredible song. It's just so good. The music video is incredible too. It's like she always does like really big songs, and they, you know, a lot of like orchestration are very like grand, and that song is that too. And she's got a great voice, and she's got kind of like, it's like a lot of her songs have like a very folky vibe to them. And the music video is like a creepy Wonderland, but it works so well for the song, like just everything about it. I just love it. They So Neon came out with JU, which is really solidly a great song. They even did like not a re-release, but like kind of a re-release in a sense, because it was used in Minari, the movie.
Oh, okay.
So they like kind of did an extra music video for that,
Nice.
and did some stuff. But it's a great song. Juju Land is someone that I didn't know, and I still haven't really looked into them that long. But they don't have a lot on Spotify. But Obsessed is a song that like I am actually obsessed with. I know I've talked about it on this podcast too in one of our listens. But I really found it like just a good song to have on. And then I want to talk about like, it's not like it's up there in my songs, but maybe not in my top 5, but I think like I wanted to throw in like an actual like legit K-pop song. I know.
What?
So CIX, they have a song. It's one of their B-sides. I was watching the music show and they performed it, and I was like, I love this song. Like I literally was doing that thing where I was like laying down, like kind of half asleep, waiting for maybe Dreamcatcher at that point. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard it and I like actually was like, wake up, what? Of course, it's their B-side, and it was the only time they performed it, or the last time they performed it, and so I never listened to it again. But it's a really good song. And I loved Astro's too, but like since 2 people had already said Astro, I was like, I have a backup. So in albums, Junkei came out with his album, and This Is Not a Song. It just
his voice.
Indie.
His voice was so good, it caused
jazzy, and I know I'm like choking. That's okay, because he really is. It's just incredible, and I think he's just good at songs, and I'm just so happy that they're all back. Then Amer, the whole entire album Walpurgis is fantastic. A couple of the songs actually came out last year, so probably already heard them, and I've talked about them. A couple of them came out last year because they're also used in animes, but just a solid album, like all the way through. And then Leaves Black, they're an indie group. Farewell My Books, just a really good album. It's kind of one of like my like I want to put in the background and just like bob my head to, but it's like kind of a chill song. So like if I don't want like if I like put on Aimer, I'm going to be like full blast, like wanting to belt, you know, like we're in musical theater territory, but like Blaze Black is like really chill and nice and good to have in the background, and I like all the songs. So
Nice.
I have some other albums, but you know, that's a good amount.
we only have so much time.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of did the same thing. I've got some songs, I've got some albums. I mean, first off, I feel like I gotta say the Mito album by DPR Ian. I love it. I mean,
It's a good one.
I actually spent money and bought a physical copy, kids. Like this is how much I like it.
For business.
So it's good. None of the songs would really make my top. Well, okay, because similarly to what you were saying about Aimer, like my two favorite songs off the album were actually released last year, so it doesn't feel fair. Like I can't put So Beautiful 2 years in a row. That's not fair to the rest of the music. So
I personally always do it like if it came out last year, it can't be your song choice, but it can be your album choice.
Exactly.
That's how I justify it in my head.
It's a very solid album, and I very much enjoy it. Just my favorite songs are from last year. But the rest of the songs are good, so I'll listen to the whole thing. Favorite, like song wise, Beautiful Beautiful by ONF. I just love that song. I love the video. I love everything about it. And it was sort of the song that got me to like realize that like, oh, you love ONF. Like you love them. Like, because I had them so in the background for so long and not realizing it. And then I was like, oh, now I have to like do everything, listen to everything. And it was like, Spotify's like, you have listened to everything and you like it all. And I was like, oh,
I love those songs. You're like, oh my God, I love them. Like, I love them.
I love them.
Wait a second.
It's like a teen rom-com. You're like, but I'm in love with him.
Me? What?
Yes, very much so. Thankfully, a bunch of my mutuals on Twitter have also fallen in love with them and come to that realization this year. So I've had lots of lovely things popping up all over the place, and it's been a delight. So I've enjoyed that very, very much. The song 999 by Adarashi Gakko, I just really love it. I love watching them in their wild, goofy dancing, and they're just clearly having so much fun, and it comes through in the music, and it's very, very enjoyable. Love Drug by Ibata. I just really, really dig that song. I love her. I love her voice. So I would like another full album. That would be great.
Please.
Yeah. Please, can I have some more? So, especially because, she was one of the, like, I lost all of it on Spotify for, a week and a half or whatever that like horrible thing was. What am I gonna do? But thankfully Love Drug was obviously on some other label or something, because it was still there. It was just all the old stuff disappeared. So I really love album wise, Guess Who by ITZY. I enjoy every single song. I'll listen to the whole thing. I mean, there's only I think 6 songs on it, but I'll still listen to it. I can listen to it for hours, and I'm okay with that. So when there's only 6 songs and you don't mind listening to them over and over and over again, then that's a good sign that you're enjoying the music. So yeah. Bobby had an album come out this year, Lucky Man. It's very, very good. None of the songs would necessarily make my they'd probably make my top 100 for the year, but not my top 5. But they are all good songs, and they're all very enjoyable to listen to. There's a lot of variety on there too, style wise. So it's good, and sort of feels like it goes with that. BI's album Waterfall that just came out, also very, very strong album, very good, lots of songs on it, a little hard to listen to sometimes because a few of the songs are sound very much like icon songs, and you can, when you're listening, you're like,
Yeah.
and
You're
here's
kind of
where,
reminded of it. Yeah.
you know, this should be Bobby's verse, and this should be June, and this should be, you know, like you're, oh yeah, this is where somebody else comes in, and you can just see how he's still writing his songs from a mentality of a group as opposed to a single unit, and it's a little sad when you're like, oh.
Well, like he did write a bunch of icon songs, so it sort of makes sense that his
exactly
sound like icon. So
it it absolutely does. So it just like there's a few of them like Gray that just when I listen to it, I'm like, this sounds like an icon song. Like I feel like the rest of them should all be in there. And just a little shout out to Big Marvel. I can't pick because he's had 3 or 4 different songs this year, and one of them I don't care for, but the other ones I just really, really like. I just love Big Marvel.
He's such a character.
He is, and but like his music is so good, and I feel so sad for him sometimes that I think people just know he's the Rubber Chicken guy, and I'm like, but he also makes really good music, so.
But he also makes incredible music with a rubber chicken, so like, that's cool. Like he's really coming at it from all angles.
I mean, it probably doesn't
be really talented to do that. So
yeah, but even when he makes like very serious, like good music that like you know could be on music shows or whatever,
he's still
like he has to be him. So his music videos are like his sexy backup dancers are 65-year-old women and stuff. Like he just because he has to still be.
He can't stop himself. He can't stop himself. He can't help it.
Yeah, his Simulation and I'm Done are both really, really good songs. Really fun and like just really good stuff to listen to. So that's my sort of, I don't know, a basic picture of. It was really hard. I found it way harder to narrow down music than I did dramas.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously we have, like, a bunch more to pick from, but it's been a really good music year.
It's been a good music year. And it's like, with dramas, it's like, it immediately comes to your mind. Like, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, when you think about it, you're like, oh, yeah, these ones. But, like, with music, it's like, but there's so much.
Well, and, also, it's like, an album is going to take you, like, an hour and a half, and a drama is going to take you like the 16 plus hours. So like there's more invested into it, but
yeah.
Indeed. So any fun moments from the podcast from the first half of the year we want to mention?
I have one.
Any episodes you thought that we really went banging on? Okay, Sky's got one. Sky.
Does anybody have a guess?
Well, we aired one episode.
No. So, Kim Won-hee, certified Kim Won-hee.
Yes, our boy.
And the mockumentary that we came up with for that episode named The Apartment.
It was a really fun one.
The poster for that mockumentary was some of my best work. By best, I mean cursed.
Yeah. What I really liked about that episode is like a little behind the scenes. Sky had suggested one night that like as a potential for things that we could do, we focus on like kind of side characters or like not just always pick the like main leads, just to get to know these people more because they're always in your dramas. And like Kim Won-hee is obviously always around, but it was just it was kind of a fun like way to kick that off in a way, but also do it with someone that like has been kind of a running gag for us for such a long time.
A running character in our
and everybody knows him.
Imaginings.
I just bawled my eyes out with him in Youth of May. Like that's his variety. Like
you can't stop. He's always that. You know what? You're right. That was us at our best right then.
I really enjoyed that episode. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had talked about doing a Kim Won-hee episode for a very long time. We just kept kind of forgetting to do it. And so it was like,
Doing
oh
other
yeah,
things.
And then we were
Getting
like,
distracted by
oh.
other things. Yes. Want to manifest something for the rest of the year? Like, you know, we have our little manifestations that we do here that occasionally sometimes come true. And it's always a good time. So does anyone have any manifestations for our lives, our podcast life for the rest of the year?
I don't know. I think like maybe manifesting a little bit more of a diversity in some of the dramas that we're going to be getting in the second half would be nice.
Yeah, that would
or
be
at least
really
ones in like terms not just like diversity in like the genres, but diversity in what we actually like personally like connect with. And again, that just it might be because of the world and stuff and like outside things, but I think I'm kind of hoping that maybe it's like we're in a like a spot to at least like it kind of gets we're getting into a different like part in this whole thing. So maybe that.
More music. I want more. It's never enough.
Well, my big music thing already is happening.
Oh,
so
you mean your little
indie
band?
band, yeah.
Your little indie band that could.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be a flop. I think they're going to go far. AKA 2 p.m. We're talking about 2 p.m.
There's a running gag on our show is about the small unknown group 2 p.m. who is never mentioned in any of our podcast episodes.
No, not at all.
No.
I love them so much.
Jesse is in such a happy place right now.
I really am. Like, I really needed this. I was not doing, like, okay. Like, for a really long time, I was just not doing okay. And then, like, So Your Haunted House was like, oh, this is, like, making me a little bit happy. And then it was just, like, now that, like, there's actual things going on and they're, like, releasing stuff every night and morning. And, like, I've loved them so much. And especially, like, with this comeback, this is definitely not my first comeback, but it is my first comeback being on Twitter with people that I know who are hottest and who I've made friends with who like that it's their alt group or just like in general, because it was always just like something like me, myself and I over here, and it's just it's really nice. And I just really like them all so much that I'm just like so happy that I'm like constantly seeing them like in everything. It's not even just like kind of, it's like you get to see them on their promo pics, and then they're going to be in all the variety shows, and they're like the best group for variety shows. And then like they're doing lives all the time. And then they also are like almost all of them are on Twitter and active on Twitter. So then you see them like interact that way. And it's like, they're back finally. I'm just so happy about it. Like, it's just like a good time for me.
Yeah. Well, and then you get a bonus side of Even of Day.
That's true.
That's true. Oh, that came out of left field. I'm very pumped. Very excited.
I was like already over here, like when like they were doing something releasing for 2 p.m. and then all of a sudden, like even it was like, we're coming back, and I was like, what the? And when they are going to be like doing stuff at the same time, I will have music shows with both of them. What?
What a wild life you're living right now.
I'm sure Dreamcatcher's gonna say something soon. I know it.
Wait, listen. When it rains, it pours, and this
it does.
It's very true. Yep, for sure.
So, speaking of like our personal interests, does anyone have any other things that they've been up to for this year that people might enjoy knowing about us to humanize us a little to our listeners out there? I know that Jesse and I have a shared, I'm not going to call it interest. It's grown to more than that. Now,
it's a little bit more.
It's a way of life at this point.
No, it really is, especially like per our messages, like literally this morning.
Literally this morning. Jesse and I are both huge Minecraft obsessies.
In the like watching variety.
I also play. Jesse's more watching, but I watch and play. I actually have my own server that I'm
one day I'll be on it.
Con people to join me in. So if you're out there and you want to come play on a cool modded server, hit me up. Because I have so much room on my server, guys. Jeez. Minecraft is my life at this point.
Like literally, there was a new SMP that started, and I was like,
No,
Oh,
and
God,
I had
color.
started. Okay, so I had started watching it probably the same time you did, but I get a
Probably.
text this morning at like 7 a.m, and it's like, "Hey, have you checked out the new SMP with and Whip?" And I'm like,
It's major. I'm
"I
like,
haven't already checked it out. I've been watching Solidarity. I've been watching LD Shadow
yeah,
Lady.
and
I've
it's
been
like,
watching
I mean,
Solid-
this is probably, it's only been out for a week. Like, it's a
Yeah,
brand
like-
new, like, just started.
I am obsessed."
It's a
And,
good
like-
group. It's like a really
and-
solid
and-
group, and they're gonna
And
do some fun
Hermitcraft
stuff.
season 7 just ended, so
Mhm.
until season 8 begins, there's a void in my life.
Yeah,
And
and
also
I mean, like, I
yeah,
watched
it's
the
just-
OTV one, but they don't.
Yeah.
They're like a little bit more. They are entertainers, live streamers. They're not like
gaming
story and
Yeah.
making like a dedicated Minecraft video,
Yeah.
which is like fine. In the like one SMP we're gonna be watching, they're building little like empires, and so then the empires are gonna
They can have
potentially-
alliances or go
yeah
to war.
alliances
we're excited.
war or like
Wow.
stores and stuff, and so
And it's in the brand new Minecraft release that just dropped
Yeah.
like last week. Oh, it's been a wild
Look
week in
at
the
us.
Minecraft community.
Listen,
Um,
my 10-year-old is obsessed right now, so I hear about it all the time at home.
Listen,
Like,
tell
well,
your
this- like,
10-year-old to
this-
come play on my server. There's room.
well yeah, and I would also say that like this SMP is probably going to be really great for your 10-year-old
it's-
because all the
it's-
people that are in it are like
it's very,
pretty
very appropriate.
appropriate.
cool. Because, yeah, he's
All
just...
empires.
I mean, today I was sitting trying to read. I was in the kitchen trying to read, and he's like, "Mama, Mama, Mama." He's looking up on the Google Nest, and he's like, "Okay, Google, show me the whatever, like the coolest, biggest Minecraft builds ever. Mama, Mama, look at this. Look at this.
Some people
Look
do
at
some
this one,
crazy
Mama."
stuff.
And I'm like,
No.
I'm trying to read,
sounds-
but okay.
That
And it's
sounds
like, wow, that's amazing. And he's like, "Isn't it?" And then I go back to read, "Mama, Mama, look at this one now."
No, that sounds
They
like
are
me and my
amazing, but
husband.
like
It's
also
terrible.
I was in the middle of
I'm
something.
always-
Let me put this down and I'll give
No.
you my attention.
I'm always just like,
but,
isn't
So-
this incredible? Like, look at what they can come up with. And
I
was like,
think
that's
what
It's
we're
insane.
hearing is that Natalia and I will be sending Amanda clips and like
Yeah.
different things to
Listen,
to
you
her
know
to
what
give
this
to
sounds
her
like?
son.
This is like we're about to be friends with your 10-year-old.
It
We're
sounds
about
like
to be
you
the
just
cool
gained the cool.
aunts.
They literally they
Cool
had a whole
Minecraft
clip.
fans.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
if you like Minecraft, hit us up. We're big
Yeah.
Minecraft fans, man. We love Minecraft.
but what else have
uh,
we been doing besides Minecraft? Like,
Yes.
Well, I started knitting again this year. I haven't been
Yay!
for a while. So this year, I don't know why, but I just was like, okay, I've got it. I just feel like it. So I've been knitting. I knit like a back mat. It's not like I'm doing like the
Hey.
big intricate lace right now
Oh,
because it's hard to do intricate lace and like read subtitles. But if
That's
you're
fair.
struggle.
if you're on our Patreon, you'll know I had struggles with I tried something and I had to pull it out and restart it like 3 times. And then I pulled it out and restarted it again. But I think I found the key. Take it to the trailer where I don't have things to watch. So I just sit and listen to a book or whatever and I knit, and then I can actually pay attention to it and
Smart.
not, so it's like big now. I finished the like lacy part, so I'm like, woohoo, it's moving along. So I'm very happy with that. So oh, and I started teaching the 10-year-old how to knit, so he's
Oh, does he like that?
having fun. He kind of does. Like, he's not good at it at all.
No.
He started it's a 20 stitch scarf and there's 28 stitches now.
Listen,
I don't know how, but that's
judge
okay.
everyone's
You know?
first
Yeah, everyone's
It's
first one
just-
is a little wavy.
Exactly. I'm like, you know
fine.
what? It's just technique right now, buddy. I just want you to learn how to like,
Yeah, get used to like doing
Pull
the
it.
movement.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But he seems to be into it. Like he
There you
wants
go.
to take it around with him and do it. So
Cool.
that's cool.
I know
got
you
in-
go to the cabin. Sorry. Cabin. Camper. Go camping. My brain replaced a word.
Yeah, it's like I have a cabin
I'm like,
now.
whoa, I've
Why did
upgraded.
no one tell me? Gives me
Someone-
the keys.
Someone knocked the wheels off of my camper and made it a cabin. Yeah, we changed up campers recently, and so I have not camped in it yet. It's new, so it's not like we're redoing it. We're just putting crud inside of it to
Making
get
your
ready.
own.
Yeah, but it's the middle of summer and it's warm, so. But it's fun to go look at it and think about maybe someday when it's not as hot, camping more.
Enjoying it.
Yeah,
The dream is alive.
And then one thing that I've gotten into the past handful of months has been Otome games on
Yes.
on my Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
The only one I've played through. It takes a while to play through them. I mean, I guess it depends on which one. The ones that I've been playing are long. Some of them are also visual novels. There's a lot of crossover there. There's differences. Anyway, the main one that I was able to finish was Cafe Enchanté, and it was really fun. I'm in the middle of another one right now called Collar X Malice. It involves like serial killing, and you're not a killer. You're a cop. Like,
Just like,
How fun.
not a killer.
just to clarify.
Listen, we wouldn't judge either way.
Yeah, totally.
No.
But if you guys saw the stuff that was on the game, you'd be like, "Ooh, like Sky's playing that game." I am playing that game.
Sky's getting wild.
Yeah. There's like
Otome games
blood
are
and
so fun.
everything, guys.
Otome games are so much fun. Like,
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a good time. There's a Kickstarter, something that might interest people that maybe not haven't been into visual novels and stuff before, but if you're into crud, what's the name? I'm only thinking of the Kickstarter is called Peachleaf Valley.
are you thinking of Stardew Valley?
So like if you're into things like Stardew Valley, they're making a game
Okay.
called
I saw
Peachleaf
that.
Valley, and it's pretty darn cute. And I played the demo of it to where it was kind of the intro to get you into the valley. So it was like you were, you got fired from your illustration job. You're tired of the city. Life is not going well. You're getting kicked out of your apartment. And then you stumble across this little farmer's market with a lot of nice people, and they're like, "Come to the valley." So then you go to the valley and you meet all the dudes. And it's like,
A
well,
classic.
this is charming. Like,
I love cozy games like that. Like,
They are really nice. Especially
so
when
if you're
like,
interested in
waste
that, there's
time.
still a month left on their Kickstarter. They're hitting a lot of their DLC type. They're going to be adding more romanceable characters and stuff, and a little bit of fantasy to it. So it looks pretty fun. But yeah, Otome games, they're fun. The ones that I've been
that's
playing.
right,
are anyway.
fellow gamers. We're one of you.
And sorry, non-follow
Non-gamers. Thank you for sitting through that.
Yeah.
You should try gaming. It's real fun.
We do
Yeah.
things. We are well-rounded people that have other
That's right.
interests other than
Hobbies
this.
and interests.
Books. I've been reading a lot this year too.
Oh, me too.
I've been
I-
reading a lot more than I was before. Like, not just like internet, fan fiction stuff. I've been reading like quote unquote real books this year, like actual.
published novels.
Yeah. Well, I figured out how to make my like my library card, how to get it connected to the Libby app, and now I can actually borrow books. So I've been reading a lot more,
Yeah,
and I
those
get
are nice.
audiobooks too. So that's
Support
nice.
your local libraries, everybody. They're important.
Well, so that's what I've been doing. I've been supporting my local library and then being really bad about cracking open the actual books. So
Yeah,
I've been
God.
checking out books and then having to eventually return them.
I do that
That's
with
all
like
that
e-books.
matters.
That
That's all
too.
that matters. Like, that's all that matters. They just need someone
Try.
to check it out. On TikTok there was the rounds of this sci-fi erotic novel series.
Oh
going
yeah, that's
around.
really big right now.
I have started.
TikTok
reading
is
it.
also our thing, but like
Yeah, TikTok is also Jesse and I spent too much time on that as well.
So what's this book series?
It's okay. It's called Ice Planet Barbarians. Okay.
Okay.
And it's about a group of women who are abducted by aliens, and their spaceship crashes on like an ice planet whose only intelligent life are these like 7-foot tall, burly blue aliens with horns,
Mhm.
and huge penises.
They were
It
just
is.
talking about blue aliens in my book club chat,
It
and
is.
I
That's
Literally,
what they're talking
it
about.
has
That's
been
what
like
they're talking about.
the
I don't know why
top
it
of
has
book
blown
talk.
up, but like, so I read a couple of them. They're better written than they have any right to be. Let's be honest. Like, they were fucking engaging. I was like, damn it. Like, I wanted it to be worse than it was. I was like, okay, I get it. Like, listen, the blue alien thing, not really my thing, but I get it. Okay, I get it.
We've also been like doing like other things. Like on my blog, I have like a horror thing going on right now, kind of sporadically throughout the next 3 months during the time that is the time of horror in Korea. I'm focusing a lot of my content on horror stuff, but like Amanda and Natalia have been on Hagdom, which we like say in passing, but I don't think we've ever like actually talked about. I've linked a couple of times, but
so friend of the show, Aussie K-pop mom, otherwise known as Frankie, has an online show on her YouTube channel. She does a lot of like reaction videos and like name learning videos and stuff, but she started like a live show where we just sort of talk about K-pop and K-drama stuff and other things. Like, for example, her and I do a special thing called the Mullet Review, where people send us K-pop mullets and we review the mullets. Some of them are not mullets, some of them are mullets. You know, we have to make this distinction. Yeah, so we have a lot of fun with that.
Do you take out a little measuring tape against the computer screen?
Listen, we measure with our hearts, not with, you know.
Does it affect you like a mullet would, or does it not?
Like, it's like, you know, we have to talk about, it's like, what's the severity between, like, the shortness of the front and the length of the back? Like, is it more a diagonal, or is it, like, a 90 degree? Is there an undercut? Like, is it just, cut hair? Like,
very scientific.
We go into some detail with the mullet review.
It's fun now that we're live with those shows because we get to see people's comments as
and we get to reply to comments and stuff, which is super fun. So that's, you know, we got stuff going on.
We're talking about, on Saturday nights, we do talk about imitation. So if you're here for the drama, you can,
and we
check that out.
We just finished a big series about Kingdom, the dance competition, I say in air quotes, show. So that was a good time. So yeah, it's, you know, we just chill.
We have fun. It's a good group of hags over there.
Yeah, it's all, you know, most of us are old, man. There's like 2 people in their 20s and the rest of us are, you know,
the other side of 30.
Aged.
Or 40 or 50 or 60.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
It's a pretty good age range. It's a good, diverse crew of peeps.
Yeah.
Anything else that we...
No, I mean, I guess just keep, like, watch on. We're going to have some stuff here in the
down the
next
pipeline.
couple months.
Stuff's coming down the pipeline.
Thinking about new things and that sort of thing, so watch out and see.
And one of those new things, we got two big important things. Well, they're not that important, but they're coming up. One, literally in 2 days, on Wednesday, we are having a movie night again with our Certified Found Family. We will be watching the Yin Yang Masters. We have a monthly movie night with our Found Family over there on Patreon, so any level of patron gets access to these good times. The movie where we all just watch a movie together and chat and have a good time. And also, we have a podcast festival coming up. The K-Pop Social Night Podcast Festival in July on the 10th and the 11th. Are those dates correct? Or is it the 11th and the 12th?
It is the 10th.
I said that so confidently and then immediately said no.
Oh, no.
Was it the 10th and 11th?
10th and 11th, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, cool. So
You're
it's
right.
Saturday, Sunday, the 10th and the 11th. We are going to be special guests on this podcast festival. Tickets are on sale now. And it's going to be a good time. We have like a nice, fun panel with a zazzy name planned. It's going to be good time. So we hope that you come and get a ticket to that. All the proceeds go to a good cause. It's for a mental health charity. So it's going to be really fun. Other than that, I think it is time to bid adieu to you once again. So our halfway check check-in is done. Maybe you shared some of our similar, ideas about things that we like this year. And if not, that's cool. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you liked so far. If you want to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certified Noonas and join the Found family over there. We have a good time. And, we do some fun stuff, and we love all our Found family. They're pretty much the best. And we are on anywhere podcasts can be found. But if you want all of the links and time codes and everything, you'll have to go to certifiednoonas.com, where the post with each episode has all of that information. Anyway, we hope that you have a fantastic week. Stay safe and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.